Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to talk about an extremely important video. I'm going to talk about how you should negotiate your salary, whether it's with your HR or with your current manager, so that you can get a better salary. The number one tactic and the number one dirty trick which HR will use in a salary negotiation is they will try and prove to you that you don't have any options. They will try and prove to you, I am so big, I am the HR of this big company, and you really don't have any options, and you should take the first offer that comes your way. In negotiation, we call this leverage. What HR will try and prove to you is they have leverage, you don't have leverage, and you are basically kneeling down for that offer. That is what they will try and convey to you. Now, how do you flip this power dynamic? The way you flip this power dynamic is you have to go and tell HR that you have leverage. How do you do that? You basically tell them one of the classical negotiation strategies to building leverage is to say you have options. You have to convey to HR you have options. How do you do that? In the first or second round itself, when you're going through this interview stage, you have to be honest to HR and say, I am interviewing at two other places. HR may suspect you are lying. So what HR will do is the following. They will say, once you have an offer, can you send me the offer from those two other places? And you have to tell them, no, I cannot. That is confidential. The way I am not going to share the details of this conversation with the other two companies, I am not going to share the details of other two companies with you. Never show desperation to HR that your current employer is very bad. One of the mistakes people often do in salary negotiation is they tell HR, my current workplace is very toxic. I hate my boss. This is the worst possible answer you can give. Why? Because then HR knows you are desperate for that job because you are not doing well at your current place of work. No matter how toxic your current place is, no matter how bad your current boss is, you always tell HR, currently things are going great here, but I want to explore something better if possible. So here is the golden rule. Never chase HR once you've had a discussion for 2 weeks. Never chase them for at least 10 to 14 days. After that, you send a message. Once you send a message, 48 hours later or 72 hours later, HR knows you have no leverage, you are desperate, they will kill you in that negotiation. The second tactic which HR will use to kill you in the salary negotiation is on the salary structure. You have to understand the nuance of the salary structure. So what are the dirty tricks HR will play? The first dirty trick which HR will play is on variable. What they will say is there is a huge variable component. Now, never go on that structure. As much as possible, negotiate on the fixed pay. Because variable, honestly, what happens is people will say you can make 20 lakhs of variable, but at the end only 1 lakh will come. So always principle number one, negotiate on the fixed pay as much as possible. How do you handle this? Now, when HR says your variable is 10 lakhs, the counter question you have to do HR is last 3 years, when somebody has got an average rating and if their variable was 10 lakhs, how much of that 10 lakhs did they get? That is the question you have to ask them. The second question on variable you have to ask is how much of it is because of the company performance and how much of it is because of the individual performance. Now, sometimes what happens is only basis company performance. Some companies do it. 100% of it is whether the company has met its targets or not. Then the variable is completely out of your hand. The second tactic they will use to artificially inflate your salary structure is joining bonus. Now, they will typically say if you join, we'll give you 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakhs. Now, there's nothing wrong. It is money. But in your mind, what you have to do is you have to realize that second year onwards, this joining bonus will not come. So for all practical purpose, you should remove it in your mind when you're doing this negotiation. Now, some companies are very smart with joining bonus. They put it in a bond structure. They will say your joining bonus is very big. Say if your fixed salary is 12 lakhs, joining bonus is 5 lakhs. But you will get it only if you spend 36 months with the company. This is how they're trying to tie you in. So you should be very careful when you see a clause like this that for 36 months, you cannot go up. Look for some hidden elements. Sometimes what HR does is they will say, we are giving you a training program and they'll put 50,000 rupees in your salary for that. Some companies, what they do is they give you a nice laptop, they put it in your salary. So remove some of these elements. Always ask HR for a detailed breakup of your salary and negotiate only on your fixed. Tactic number 3, which HR will play, is as follows. One of the worst questions to ask HR in a discussion is to say, what is your budget? Never ask an HR what is your budget for this role. Why? There's a bias in psychology which is called anchoring, which basically says the person who sets the first number controls the negotiation. You should always set the agenda and say, I want this much. I want 30% jump and this is how much I want. How do you arrive at this number? Now, whenever you're going into a negotiation on salary, there are 3 numbers you have to identify. One is what is called a dream hike, one is a good hike, and one is what is called a walkaway hike. So what is a walkaway hike? A walkaway hike says, less than this, I'm not going to join this company. How do you arrive at this number? So say you may say that currently, if I stay in my current firm, I'll get 7-8%. Less than 8%, it doesn't make any sense to leave my job. Also, I'm comfortable in my current role. So that's a walkaway hike. Then there is a good hike. You may say that if I get 10% over my walkaway, say a 20% hike, that's a good hike which I'm happy with. Dream is, say if I get 10% or 15% more, that is something which is a dream hike. So you need to prepare these numbers in your mind. Of course, it depends on the industry, the level you are, but I gave you a broad example. So when HR asks you how much you want, you start with the dream number. And this means your interviews have gone well. You've really smashed the interview. That's why you can have this conversation. You will typically start with the dream number saying, I want a 30% hike. You never ask HR what is your budget. Tactic number 4, I'm going to ask you a question. Again, this is how HR will manipulate you. So say you tell HR, you're currently making 12 lakhs and you think my dream price is around, say, 18 lakhs. You're asking for a 50% hike because you think you deserve it. So should you tell HR, I want 18 lakhs, or should you tell HR, I want 17 to 19 lakhs? Which of the 2 numbers will you tell HR? Now, 18 lakhs and 17 to 19 lakhs is mathematically the same, but there is a huge difference in terms of how these numbers are seen. You will typically never say 18 lakhs. Whenever you negotiate in salaries, you always give ranges. Now, 17 to 19 lakhs, when you give in ranges, actually works very well. Why? Because one, when you say 17 to 19, it tells the HR you're willing to be flexible. And research has proved, psychological research has proved that when you give 17 to 19 lakhs, then the human brain typically does not go lower than the lower number. So in all likelihood, in the first round of discussion, she's not going to go lower than 17 lakhs. So what you're doing is, you're capping the lower limit of this negotiation. So 18 was your dream and 17 you're sort of capping it, which is a very good number. Tactic number 5, very, very important. Most people make this mistake. Now, sometimes, and I've been bashing up HR, but some HRs are also honest. And sometimes HRs may not have the money. Genuinely, they may not have the money for this role. Then what you have to do is what is called use non-monetary variables. Now, some things which are not money in nature may matter a lot for you, but may be free of cost to the HR. And you may want to negotiate on some of this. What are some of these parameters? One could be work from home policy. So you may say that one day a week, I definitely want to work from home. This is something HR may be able to influence its internal stakeholder. Number 2, you may say that give me a better title, which is an outside facing title. So internally, whatever is your band, you keep me there, but outside you give me a better title. This is something HR can work with. And if you have a better title, you look better on social media, you look better with your network. The third thing is, maybe you are an individual contributor, and what you can tell HR is when the next group of interns come, you give me 2 interns. Because what will happen is now you're managing 2 people, you're moving into that people management role. This is something which HR can do. The 4th thing you can ask for is training. Maybe you can tell HR that what are the training programs or the leadership development programs you have in your company. I would like to get nominated for that in the next 1 year. This is something, again, is in the hands of HR. They can probably do that. Let's move to tactic number 6. Never make this mistake in terms of number of years. What you have to talk is in terms of the impact you have created. So basically, you have to say that over the last 10 years, I have generated 5 crores of more sales. I have saved 20 lakhs in this kind of project. I have increased the efficiency of this program from 40% to 55%. I have got 7 awards. You have to talk in terms of impact that helps your business case. The second mistake people make is they don't research well enough. You have to research well. So, what should you research when you're having a salary negotiation? So, go on sites like Glassdoor, go on sites like Indeed, and try and locate what others at the same level are making. That is going to be a big data point for you in this negotiation. That's number one. Number two, if you can speak to people in that company at that role, try and understand from them what their packages are. That is another data point you can use. Another data point, say you're working in a company. Till now, I've been talking about how to go into a different company, but even in your company, if you can get a data point, and this happens all the time, of someone who's junior to you, but making same as you or higher than you, that is the data point you have to use. Typically in the same company, if you want to move. Now, what typically happens is, say you've been working in a company for 7-8 years. Now, your company will get somebody from outside and maybe junior to you by 1 or 2 years. But because they're getting somebody from outside, they'll pay a lot of money to that person. And if you come to know that person junior to you is getting 15% more than you, that is the winning conversation in your company in terms of that. So always remember, when you're preparing for this conversation with HR or with your manager, remember, never go on emotion and say, I've worked for so many years. It never works. You have to talk in terms of impact, amount of money you've made, amount of cost you have saved, amount of efficiency you have shown, number of awards you've won. Secondly, you have to research well on Glassdoor, understand people's salaries in the same team. And three, highlight outliers, people who are junior to you, getting more than you, are winning parts of this conversation. Tactic number 7 is make it impossible for your current manager not to give you that hike you deserve. Here are some things you have to do. Number 1, every 2 or 3 months, you actually have to make it easy for your manager. You have to talk to your manager every 2-3 months in terms of the impact you have created, the money you have brought, the costs you have saved, the efficiency you have brought in, the client testimonials, people who are praising you. Now, sometimes managers have a lot on their plate. They're managing a lot of people, there are a lot of pressures. So you need to have this periodic conversation, equipping your manager that, look, I'm delivering all the numbers, I'm doing, I'm getting all this great feedback. That actually helps you so that you're indispensable. Now, sometimes, and a lot of times, managers have bad intent. They won't let you go, and they will not give you the salary you deserve. How do you manage such people? There are a few tactics you have to look at. Number 1 is, always remember, your manager's manager is your best friend. Always remember this rule. So every month, without fail, every month of 45 days, you should have one 30-minute catch up with your manager's manager, apprising him or her about the great work you are doing, the great feedback you are getting. Whatever great feedback you are getting, consistently ship it to your manager. Your manager should know every month someone is praising you. That is very, very important. Now let's move to the next tactic, which is in terms of getting the timing right. You need to get the timing of these discussions right. This is again in your current company, you want to move up. When do you have this conversation about appraisals? Now, this is very, very important. You have to understand, when are these appraisal discussions done? They are typically start 1 month before the final appraisals. That is the perfect time to bring up this conversation. A lot of people, what they do is, once the rating has been revealed, they go and tell their manager, I'm unhappy with the money. Now, nobody can do anything because the money has been frozen, and for 6 or 9 months, nothing can be done. So you have to launch this conversation at the right time. You have to do this 1 month before the appraisal. You have to tell your manager, I need more in terms of the money I'm making because of the impact I'm creating, so that there is enough room for your manager to go and fix the system. So in terms of days, never talk on a Monday and a Tuesday. Beginning of the week, people have a lot of pressure. Always talk about this on a Thursday or a Friday. Typically, there is lower pressure on those 2 days. Ideally, conversations like this never have an office. When you're going for a drink, when you're going for dinner, or when you're going down for a break to eat something, have these conversations. Then people are more receptive to it. The next tactic, and the most controversial one I'm going to talk about, is sometimes you need to threaten your current company. It's a high risk strategy, but I'm going to explain this to get the offer that you want. Now, this is how it works. Let's go from the previous tactic. So, what is typically going to happen? You're going to give 1 month before the appraisal, you're going to talk to your manager saying, look, I'm not getting the offer. Now, your manager may say, give me 6 months, let me sort it out. Now, what you have to do is during these 6 months, one of the scenes that will happen is, and I've seen many people, after 6 months, the manager comes down and does nothing. They say, oh, I tried, it didn't work, I couldn't get you the hike. Now, when you do not leave after this, what the company assumes is you do not have market value. This guarantees the fact that your next hike, the hike after that will be terrible. When you've asked your manager saying, I deserve more, and they say, I'm going to do it, after 6 months, they don't do it, and you do not leave and you continue, please be rest assured your company is giving you a signal they do not value you. If you've had this conversation and they haven't corrected it in 6 months, you have to leave. Which means the day you have this conversation is the day you start interviewing outside, and so that you leave. One of the best ways to get your value is actually to resign. It's a high risk strategy, but in my life, one of my best hikes I've got and a promotion I got is when I use this tactic. So you have to start looking for a role. When you have an alternate offer, you have to come to your manager and say that, look, I am very happy with the company, that I was very happy working with you, but I'm not getting my due. Here is an alternate offer. What do you suggest? This is not a threatening conversation. This is saying, I want to work with you, I like you, but you are not giving me my value. What should I do? This is how it will go. One of the ways is the manager will say, no, we don't want you to go. And often they come back. When you threaten to leave, people often come back. Please give us 2 or 3 months. We will rectify it. Now, typically, you have to see if the manager is serious or not. How will you know they're serious or not? If his boss or her boss is also speaking to you, if HR is also speaking to you, then you know they're probably serious. They're going to correct it. Nobody writes about these things in emails. People often say, can you give it to me in writing? Nobody can write about it. But other than your manager, if your manager's manager and HR is also telling you the same thing, they're probably going to get it done. The final tactic I'm going to talk about is what happens during the notice period. Now, in the notice period, what I strongly recommend, and I know some of you will get triggered with this, a lot of HR is going to get triggered with this because I'm exposing all their dirty secrets. You have to go what is called offer letter hopping. Now, what most people do with the notice period is they just sit idle for 3 months saying, I have a great offer, let me chill for 3 months. No, this is the time you get super active. You take one offer letter, get another offer, you try and maximize, because this is the only time in life where your downside is fully taken care of. You use one offer letter to get another offer letter. Now, here are some concerns which people will tell you. One, they will think that, what if companies blacklist us? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. When the right role comes and if you're the right skill, they will unblacklist you. So blacklisting never works. Never have that fear. There is only one exception to this rule when you should not go offer letter hopping, which is if the person in the newer company who's made you an offer says your ex-boss, and you have an excellent relationship, you work with that person for 10 years, 12 years, then you may not want to go offer letter hopping. But if the person on the other side is someone who's totally new, please go offer letter hopping. This is your only way to make money. So here I spoke about 10 tactics in terms of how HR and companies trick you and how you can overcome them. I'm quickly repeating them. Number 1, always showcase that you have leverage. Number 2, understand salary structures in terms of negotiate only on fixed. Number 3, set the narrative, put out the number first. Number 4, understand ranges. Ranges matter a lot. Number 5, understand the value of non-monetary variables. Number 6, learn to have this conversation. Do not just become emotional about it. Number 7, make it impossible for your manager to fire you. Number 8, in terms of get the timing right. Number 9, be ready to walk away, have another offer to threaten your company. There's nothing wrong. And number 10, do offer letter hopping in the notice period. There is nothing wrong about this unless you know the other person. I know some of it has been provocative. Some of you will write nasty stuff in the comment section, but please understand this is in your interest. If you are not selfish, If you are excessively loyal, you will not move ahead in life. When the other person is not behaving in a good state, why are you being excessively kind to them? Before we finish this video, I want you to do a few things. Number one, now, there are a lot of tactics I've said. You can't use all of them. In the comments box, just write three things you are going to use in your next negotiation, whether it's with your HR or whether it's your manager. What are the three tactics you will use? Number one. Number two, share this video with as many friends. This video will anyway go viral, I know. But share this video with as many friends of yours who may need to hear how to negotiate. Number three, please subscribe to the channel. It gives us great joy to see you. Please like and engage with the post. So with that, let's finish this video and please come back on a future video. Thank you so much for your time.